We are now recording the December 7th, 2017 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 So something is happening let's say the East Coast and the West Coast. Inside of the United States seems to be a little bit calm for the moment. But I'd love to send this rain out west.
That sounds like Seattle.
We'd love to have some of it.
The only thing worse than rain is snow.
Well, they said
not too much, right? Otherwise, you get the mudslides out there.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, that's right after the fire. If it rains on it after the fire, then you get the mudslides.
Wow. Well, I want to send some rain out there to put out those fires. Snow, sleet, whatever it is, as long as it's wet and extinguishes fires.
Yes.
I was in Olympia for a while.
Olympia, Washington?
Yeah. Seemed like it rained like crazy.
It does. It rains. The only time I'd say July, August, and halfway through September is our summer.
Yeah. And but it's really strange. You go further north, you go up through the Yakima Valley, and it's like you go through an area. I won't say desert, but it's weird. And then you go a couple more miles the other way, and they got apple orchards and all.
Yep.
It's really
that sounds like Wenatchee area. Yeah. The thing is that the Cascade Mountain separates the west and the east sides, and east sides is all agricultural and very conservative area. It's kind of like the red states, and the west of the mountains is very liberal and very populated. It probably has at least half the population of the states on the west side of the mountains.
Yeah.
So it's almost like two different states.
I worked up in Forks for the Forestry Service for a short stretch.
Oh,
you could look across, and you couldn't quite see Russia, but you could see British Columbia.
Yeah.
Wow. So they were saying only an inch or two for May, but the odd thing is my daughter down in Alabama is getting snow before May here in Pennsylvania.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Oh, wow. You got to get Brandon on to talk about that. Wow.
Yeah, snow in Alabama?
Yeah. Yep.
That's odd.
And everything shuts down for them when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how much are you supposed to get, Larry?
They said originally they said 1 to 3. Now they're talking possibly 3 to 6. The thing is, the storm is mostly off the coast. It's going up the Atlantic Ocean, but depending on, I guess, the jet stream or whatever, this thing wavers in and out.
The wibble wobble, as the weather technically.
So if it wiggles the wrong time, we could get 6 inches.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, prayers.
You can imagine the rotten apple. They're all geared up here. They're bragging they got GPS on their snowplows. So.
Okay. Well, I guess in case they get all snowed in,
yeah.
you can find them.
Well, I've got a client that does de-icing and snow removal, so he loves, this kind of, when it snows. Everybody else hates it around here, but he likes it.
Makes a little bit of money.
How often do it snow in your area, Dennis?
Pardon me?
How often does it snow?
It depends. I mean, sometimes we don't get any snow at all, and sometimes we'll get like half a foot or a foot. And what happens is that we'll get this cold front from Alaska will break off after it snows, and it's like living in an ice box for about 2 or 3 weeks because the ice doesn't melt, or it does melt, and then the roads are real icy. I'd say about 2% of the people in Seattle know how to drive. And they're smart enough to take the bus. Everybody else is out there ramming into people or sliding down hills, or it's a danger to be out there driving with these people.
It's not too safe on a bus either, Dennis. I did that one time. One time, my husband and I were sitting in the house, and a big snowstorm was supposed to come. So we said, you know what? We got on a bus, and we headed to Atlantic City to go play.
Well,
it took us 6 hours on that bus to get to Atlantic City. So
back in 1990, I was on a bus and we got caught on a hill, and we couldn't get up the hill. We couldn't get down the hill, and cars were driving on the sidewalk to get past us, and so you had to watch out when you get out of the car to not be hit by a car driving on the sidewalk. And then I looked out the window where we're stuck on the hill, and this one woman rear-ended somebody, and out of the car came a deputy sheriff looking really mad. And then I saw another guy dressed as Santa Claus try to drive a little Pinto, in the snow. It's like,
Yep. I think it's just safer to sit in, hunker down, and wait it out.
That's the nice thing about working from home.
That is the nice thing about working from home until the power goes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on any coast.
Yeah, and then it's like seriously boring. Do you know how boring it is with no electricity?
Oh, yeah, I just recently experienced that for 11 days. So, yeah, I do know.
It could be in Puerto Rico.
That's
Ooh,
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I got 3 electrical crews over there now. So I was like, wow.
Well, I have a generator, although I don't know how much it's going to help if I don't have cable service. So, but I don't know. I have a cookie exchange that I'm supposed to go to tomorrow. I just don't know if that's going to happen. They're going to start, they're starting to shut things down. All kinds of Christmas parades are happening around the little towns around here, and they're starting to be canceled. So, and one snowflake has not even come down yet. Going crazy over it already.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, let's talk about the app musical chairs that are happening. All kinds of stuff was announced this week.
So I saw the T-sheet one. Wasn't aware
that took me by surprise. Intuit buying T-sheets. Well, the first little piece of advertisement I saw was from Clock Shark, who put out this really cool, and I put it in our group, about being a pro advisor.
Yeah, I saw that.
Was in there. Joanne was in there.
Yeah, I saw that.
A lot of people, and then that same week, Intuit comes out and says, oh, by the way, we just purchased T-sheets. So that took me by surprise.
Well, I'm just kind of wondering how that's going to impact. I mean, when I worked for WAMU, we were out gobbling up banks left and right, before we collapsed. But, I mean, you're changing, going from a small entrepreneurial, 35-person company to a big corporation. I mean, the culture it's going to be quite a culture shock, I would think.
Probably, but I think that they'll keep the small area together for a little while.
Well, yeah, until the owner, as long as he's involved, I think that. But the thing about big corporations is that they have their culture and they try to enforce their rules. And I know when I worked at WAMU, we had all these things, software we couldn't use, and things we couldn't do. And so I don't know how Intuit is, but a big company's going to have a different culture, I would think.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just wondering, what about people like Xero and Sage, if they're going to be willing to share their code with a competitor now?
That's right. That's right. I didn't think of it on that.
If I was Xero, I'd be kind of
racing. And he's got his sunglasses on. That is awesome. Brandon, what do you have?
I don't know. I accidentally I pressed the wrong button.
That is so cool.
I like that. Go ahead,
I'll just leave it
It's
there.
like that Snapchat or whatever when they have those filters.
Yep, it was an accident, but I'll leave it there.
Okay, well, geez, what do you have installed on your computer that does that?
Hang on, and I can tell you.
That's because I want to play like that too.
It's called Magic Eye Visual Effects.
Magic Eye Visual. And where did you get that?
It's from ArcSoft. I'm
oh
sure.
my gosh, ArcSoft is exactly who does my frames.
So it was an add-on. Every time I turn my camera on, this little thing pops up here and asks me if I want to use all this stuff, and I usually say no.
So it came with your camcorder. That's how mine came. What camcorder do you have?
I don't know. It's an HP. I'm going to turn you upside down here.
Is it on your laptop?
No, this is my desktop.
A desktop.
But
something.
yeah, this is a third party. It's an HP USB something.
Okay, well, there's a whole lot of HP USB somethings.
So what it is, I can tell you. It's an HD 2200.
2200. Okay. I'm going to see if I can find one of these. I would buy a new camera just to have that cool stuff. I would. Because I've been, I've had my frames forever now, and I've been looking and looking and looking and have not found. And the ArcSoft is actually who does my frames. So
Okay.
I'd love if they would sell to like regular people without being part of a camera or whatever.
Yeah, I bet they would. I never looked into it.
I did, and I never saw that they did.
Huh.
So, Magic Eye Visual Effects from ArcSoft.
Yep.
And it's the HP USB 2200, and that's a camcorder?
Well,
It's
that's
a
an I with like a letter I, not an EYE.
Right. Magic-I.
Okay. And what is it again?
It's a webcam. Just a USB plug-and-play webcam.
Webcam.
Yep.
Expensive?
No, it wasn't expensive at all. I've had it for years, so
I'll have to look for it and see, because that was the problem. The ArcSoft, it came with webcams,
right.
but you can't buy it separately, and then they stopped adding it to the webcams. So we'll see if I can find it.
I just put a link in the chat from what I found.
Oh, okay. Cool. That would be awesome. Thank you, Brandon.
You're welcome. Happy to help on accident.
It was a fun accident.
What is Jungle Discs?
Okay, so we start talking about t-shirts being purchased by Intuit. Jungle Disc is what took over Safety Net. Safety Net was the backup program that I was using with QBO.
Okay.
And then they were free for a very long time. And then they started charging. And now all of a sudden they went away. But now they're being, can I say rebranded? I don't know. It's a whole new company, I believe. The same guy and the same code for Safety Net is now Jungle Disc. I know the name, right? I'm not sure that I'm ready to jump on that bandwagon. I did use Safety Net. I just never really had to restore it or see how it actually worked. So to go to a paying product without knowing how it really performs, I'm just not there.
They sent me that email, probably the same one that you got.
Yep.
And originally I posted on our group page, but then I said, wait a minute, I couldn't find where it was really sanctioned by Intuit. I said, you know what? Let me take it off before.
Well, you know what? We're doing this musical chair thing, so I don't think it's a problem if you wanted to leave it there,
Yeah.
sanctioned or not. But you're right. I'm having a hard time putting things out there and recommending them when I'm not sure how long they're going to be.
Yeah, especially if you recommend to a client and they come to depend on it and then they're gone, you know.
Like that Atlas.
When I looked at their pricing scheme, that seemed like a little confusing too. First, it seemed simple, but then it looked like it had a couple of gotchas in there, so I'm not sure.
And the thing for me was, for every QuickBooks file that you have to pay a subscription.
Right.
And that can get very, very expensive very quickly.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like 15, 20 bucks a month, something like that.
I don't
Something
know.
like 15, 20 bucks a month for a subscription, or was it cheaper?
How much was it, Larry?
I think it was like the first one was really low. It was like, wasn't it like $5 or something like that? If I remember right, I'm not sure.
That's what backups. I was just looking at that. Backup Circle has got one that's like $4.99 a month, but I don't know anything about them.
The only thing is, my thought, well, I'd want this company to be really tightly in bed with Intuit because, you know, you're backing up the data that's on their database. It's not your database. I mean,
Right.
maybe you have the data out there, but it's on their database.
I would be a little concerned about their security if they're giving it a real low price. You know.
Well,
And even security. I mean, some of the best servers out there have been compromised, and then it's your name, it's your liability.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And that's the same for that Atlas. Now, what name are they? They are being, I'm going to say again, rebranded, because I don't know a better word to use than that. But they're coming out with a new name too. Same product, just different name. I don't remember the name of it though.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
I wonder why they.
Why do they rebrand themselves? So I mean, did something go wrong with your name?
I don't think it's a name thing. I think it's a money thing.
Well, it seems like, you know, they've already spent the money to advertise under one name. Now they're going to basically throw that in the trash and start spending more money on a new name.
Well, what happens when you go bankrupt?
Well,
you know what I mean? The company goes away and then you start a new one. They do that around here all the time.
Fresh out of bankruptcy.
Convenience stores.
Say fresh out of bankruptcy, the new and improved.
Right. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not going to speculate on things that I don't know. I'm going to just stop there. So who was the other one? So we had Intuit and T-Sheets, Jungle Disc and Safety Net, Atlas, and I forget the new name.
Now, what did Atlas do?
Atlas was a CRM.
Oh.
That was the one that was in that Seth did one of his hangouts on. They came and talked. It really looked cool. But they were only around for like 2 months. So, I mean, people...
Kind of makes you wonder about their business plan if they...
really? Honestly.
Why even bother for 2 months, you know? Like, somebody made a severe mistake somewhere along the line in terms of estimating their cash flow.
Think so? And the other thing that I recently discovered is Chrome is killing the App Store, that you will no longer be able to go and use the apps on the Chrome store. I remember when I first started with Gmail, And when I first found that app store, I thought my life changed. I mean, it made that much of a difference for me. And I'm not sure what's going to happen to the apps that I'm using now that are Chrome apps.
Did they give a reason why?
I have not heard from Chrome the reason why, only that it's going away.
Well, Google has a habit of putting stuff out there, then taking it back or canceling it.
Well, I thought that was Microsoft's motif.
No, Microsoft does that too.
I thought they were the ones that really did that a lot, and I liked Google because they didn't so much. Now it looks like Google is starting to take after Microsoft. And the same for
you know that Microsoft and Intuit had agreed to merge back in the 90s, right?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the Department of Justice killed it. This was like the early 90s.
That
Microsoft
makes sense to me because I really feel like the Intuit developers think along the same lines as Microsoft. They really don't care about user interface at all.
Yeah, Microsoft, they're when they merge with companies, they don't always have the best record of having a happy merger. I mean, what was that? Nokia, their phone, they bought them, and now I'm not sure Nokia's still around. Or
I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
I had to have that phone. I don't know what it was about that phone, but I had to have it.
Well, Microsoft had their own accounting, had Microsoft Accounting that was competing against Intuit. And
I did that program for a while. It was called MAP or something like that. Microsoft Accounting. Yeah. Microsoft Accounting Program.
The MPAN network.
The MPAN. And
Actually,
I went through the testing and did all of that kind of stuff. And
actually, I helped write the test back in 2006. They got a group of about 5 of us together, and we just, broke it up into different areas and came up with questions and pumped it out in about 3 days.
Well, I took those tests. I remember taking those tests. The problem was they kept sending me back to the Microsoft site, and I don't know who can navigate those sites.
Yeah, I could never figure out how to navigate the site. It was like such a god-awful mess.
And you click on things, and they take you places that you have no idea where you're at, and you can't get back to where you were.
Or you couldn't get the password right, or you tried to, sign in with your email. You thought you had your email, and they couldn't find it. It was just, I've always had trouble with navigating Microsoft website. I mean, even
their still that way today.
It is. I mean, with their Office 365, I find it confusing. I still haven't figured out how to do the business Skype, even though I'm paying for.
Well, see, I don't even want Skype. I have my Zoom. I'm happy with my Zoom.
Yeah, I'm not happy with Skype at all. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I've used it.
Okay. A lot of people do use it, and I do have people that request using it. But
the clients like that. That's all he uses is Skype, and I don't really use it, so I'm always kind of looking like an idiot trying to.
Well, I take the control then at that point and say, I have a program that I'll contact you. It's so simple.
Yeah.
All I have to do is send you a link in an email, and we're connected. Yeah. Yeah.
My little guy, like, I was trying to talk to him the other night, and I said, okay, are you ready? He said, yeah. He said, I didn't get your Zoom link. I didn't know we were doing it on Zoom. I thought we were going to have a phone conversation. He said, give him 15 minutes. And I was like, you ready? Oh, you didn't send me the Zoom link. Oh, you're on Zoom. Okay. But he likes it.
Because it's easy. It's simple.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's a lot clearer. I don't know. I haven't been on Skype for a while, but it was kind of difficult to hear sometimes.
Yeah.
I never had a problem. The only problem I ever had is it kept logging me out. That's the only problem
I use it is for international calls, and even then it's for a sales call, somebody I've never talked to before.
Okay. So what's the quality like these days?
What's what?
What's the quality on Skype like these days?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I guess it's totally dependent on the connection on both ends as well. I mean,
I
but
guess that's the same anywhere, though.
right.
You know, my
But
client,
I've not had any problems with it.
and my client in Shanghai, China, that's what he likes to use. But in China, the internet connections are kind of
I can
sketchy.
imagine. I can imagine.
Well, I think Skype got started overseas anyway, didn't it? And then it spread pretty good around the world. So probably people in other countries
Yeah, Microsoft bought them out. So
are more apt to use it.
Right, right.
but that'd be my concern with Intuit buying out T-sheets is that sometimes they don't really improve things when they buy them, you know.
I don't like the fact that like when you first get a new system, you get a new computer, you get a new system, and one of the regular apps that they do put on your computer is Skype, and then so you constantly having Skype running in the background, popping up every time you're trying to.
That's my problem. That's my problem. I don't use it. I don't want it taking up my memory. I don't want to take the time to do the updates. And they don't. Microsoft has never cared about that. You're going to get an update when it's ready, whether you like it or not.
Then
Doesn't
you got
matter if you're.
those hitting you up saying, "Oh, can we meet?" Hell no, I don't know you. Where's this coming from?
You know, there's a lot of that on Skype. You get these
Connection.
weird ones that come in. Hey, we want to connect. We want to connect.
I mean, why? That'd be my question. Why do they want? One night I went to sleep and I don't normally turn my computer off, and all I heard for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then finally I got up, didn't want to get up, but finally I didn't have any choice because it was annoying, and it was Skype. People trying to hit me up, and I'm like, what? See, they have absolutely no respect for your privacy. I can't go this route.
Everybody needs new friends.
Not at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Not at that time of night.
You don't know what was going on in their life. They needed you right then.
Well, all I know is that I deleted Skype off my computer right then and there. I don't have patience for it. I don't.
And you can't do that on Windows 10, can you? Can you delete?
Not on Windows 10, but you can silence it. You can put you can stop the notifications.
Yeah, but it still runs in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Sarah.
I pulled up the price. I finally got the pricing on Jungle Disk. I don't know. I never tried sharing the screen on this before. Let me try it, all right?
Okay.
Works like a champ.
So, Sarah, Jungle Disk is now the new safety net.
Oh.
They keep on saying,
Is that the old company and they changed their name, or is this completely new?
Used to be Safety Net, Jungle Disk now.
they keep on saying Jungle Gym, you know.
Are you
We're
able
talking
to?
about the musical chairs that are happening these days.
We see it.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the strange thing. Over here they had for free, but they only keep it for 7 days, right? The backup.
Looks
Well,
like
you're
it.
doing them every day.
And
Better than nothing.
Right.
the one for $5 is unlimited data storage, but somewhere in there, where is that little gotcha? In every instance,
Where they
You have
don't
to
have
pay-
any chat support. Oh, I guess they do. Okay.
you have to pay for every instance.
Okay.
So if you have a
Oh,
problem and you need to restore your data, you have to pay for it. Is that correct?
that's what it
Here it
looks
is,
like.
here.
Oh, what's the point
$5.
of paying a monthly
Yeah, but that
fee
makes,
then?
it's only $5. I mean, I could see. I mean, how often do you think you'd need it?
What do they mean by per instance?
Oh, I read it the other way. I read it like, every time, in other words, this is supposed to be the accountant version, right?
All right.
So if you're doing a backup for several of your clients, right, you're going to have to pay for it, or somebody's got to pay for it.
I would think that that's the way Safety Net was.
Well, it says per month, per instance, unlimited instances. What's an instant? Backing up?
I would assume that
milk?
would be it.
I would think it'd be restoring, wouldn't it?
Restoring would
I would
be.
hope.
Well, okay, compare it to the $8. What's the $8 version? Just a separate company, non-accounting firm?
And down in the bottom, they're saying a minimum of 5 instances for a monthly minimum of $25. Yeah, they all have these little.
Gotchas.
Yep. Yep. You have to look at that little type.
It's kind of like unlimited except for 5.
Except for 5. You're going to pay a minimum of $25 a month. And if anything happens, you're paying more.
All right.
Misleading. Why don't they
You want me to take this off now, or?
5.
Yeah, you can.
They're like you get less for the $8. I guess because that's a small business package. It's not an accountant's package.
Well, the difference between a small business and an accountant would be different files. If you're a small business, you can have so many companies, but an accountant will have, 20, 30 businesses that they're dealing with.
Okay.
So they would need 20 or 30 subscriptions, is my guess.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if you're paying per instance or you have unlimited instances. Very confusing.
Yeah, right.
How are they defining instance?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
I just didn't have the time to get on with their car salesman and go through it.
Right, right. They did send a pretty compelling email, though. I will say that.
It's all
Yeah.
about Peggy.
And I didn't see where it said that they're affirmed by Intuit either. Where,
Well, it did say integrated with Intuit. That was the first thing underneath.
I would think that Intuit would have some sort of certification, wouldn't they?
I don't know. Have to ask Brandon. He would know.
Yeah, Brandon knows everything. Everything QuickBooks.
I wish. I do want to go down the SDK road, but I haven't been there yet. So
That's what I've been working on all day long with my programmer.
yeah, your programmer and I we got to chat during Cubic Connect.
Did
I
ya?
sent you that
Yeah,
picture.
He's lovely. Hey, you know how Misha and Joanne like to work together?
Yep.
Yes,
Through Zoom. They
Yep.
don't talk. They just are together. They just
hanging out, right,
It's
right.
kinda like
They hang
just
out
in the
together.
same room.
I actually got a chance to watch them do that one night.
Yeah, it was fun. And then, I joined them one night, and it is interesting to don't feel alone. But that's what Ernest and I have been doing. He'll call, and he'll start showing me the code and asking me questions, and then he just starts working, and then I get over on my other monitor, and I start working. Every once in a while, he'll ask me.
Yes, it's just like being in the same building and you just
being in the office together.
Fascinating. I like looking at all that. Because I try
Yeah.
to figure out what he's doing, And and I'm like, I believe you. You're working.
I like that someone else is doing it and I don't have to.
Oh, I like that too. I would like to find. Speaking of that, I'm tired. I need somebody who really knows. What's that chimp thing? Mail chimp.
Oh, I saw that on WordPress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
saw
have a
that.
subscriber today. Yay! And I need to. I've got so much to figure out in so many other areas.
I'm wasting so much time trying to figure all of it out. And I'm like, I need to pay somebody to do this. And the first person I talked to, he said $2,000. I was like, ooh.
I need like a virtual assistant who really knows. Like I want to be able to send out a newsletter to a certain portion of these people. I imported all my customers from my TBX database. I did figure that out. I was all impressed. And then I think I have it separated between whoever wants to sign up for my blog that I will get going one of these days and PBS. Oh, somebody joined my blog today. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Where is she? Cause
I think Seth has a video on MailChimp.
yeah.
Check. I don't even know how to tell you to search his stuff.
I think he uses it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people use it. It used to be Constant Contact that everybody used.
Yeah, but it comes with the WordPress, websites, because I see it in my background where you go and update your website or whatever. Just haven't figured out what they mean by what they want me to do.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I pulled so many gray hairs out of my head. That's what this is.
Oh, here it is. My second subscriber.
Oh, nice.
Marlene Houk. Is she on the Facebook page? A couple of them. Or I recognized her
Okay.
being a Facebooker, you know. So.
Right.
I guess I need to write something for her to read.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. No, I like an idiot. I planned a party for tomorrow night. I'm so not ready. And I planned all day long to do nothing but work on the house and do other stuff.
And didn't get a thing done, huh?
No, and I'm waiting for the UPS truck that keeps going right by our driveway and saying we don't exist.
Oh wow.
So what's happening weather-wise outside your door right now?
Freezing. It is rainy, cold. It's like down to 40 or.
At least you're not getting the snow. Like
A friend of ours above Atlanta just said they've got 3 feet. So I'm not complaining. There's no white snow.
3 feet?
3 inches.
I mean 3 inches.
Up in the mountains. Up in the
That's
mountains.
Oh, in the mountains.
In the mountains above Atlanta, they've got 3 feet. Yeah.
That would be like half my height or less than half my height or whatever, man. That's a lot of snow.
Absolutely, it is.
I love Florida. I just want you guys to know I absolutely adore this state.
Until those.
I still adore this state, especially when they blow over me.
Yeah, true. How far down are you? Because
Don't they
I've
just
been to
not have the
Jacksonville.
lights? Okay.
It can get pretty cold in Florida too.
In certain areas, yeah, because it actually gets chilly, like up in Orlando and further up. But down here where I am at, in the dirty South, I have absolutely no problem. I deal with it.
Well, it'll go back up to 70 in like another week or so.
Right.
This is that time where you can't figure out what closet to get into. You know, it's like, and then so you're like short sleeve sweater, short sleeve.
Because it's gonna get down to 44 tomorrow.
Where?
Ew, wait, I can't come outside. No.
Too cold for you. Huh?
Now that's too cold for me in Florida. I can't deal with that one.
Big blizzard.
But right now it's 80-something degrees out, so I'm not complaining.
You really far down there. How far down are you? Where are
I'm
you?
like all the way down. I'm in western Palm Beach County. So I'm like down, like on the way to Fort Lauderdale now.
Okay.
We don't have those issues. I'm right by Lake Okeechobee. I think that's why it doesn't get as cold here.
Well, and we don't get the snow even when it gets cold enough because we're right here at the water.
Right.
It keeps the,
But it get cold in Georgia.
Sometimes.
I bought a coat that still got the tag on it when I came for my nephew's graduation last year, and it has not been worn since. I didn't have any choice. It was so cold there, man. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that'll be your traveling coat.
Well, I'm not complaining about anything this week when I keep seeing these pictures of the fires. I thought we were done with the fires.
You would think this time of the year. You would think.
Why are they? Do they normally have fires in the winter?
In Southern California? Yeah.
It said it never rained.
Usually like in October, November. It's kind of December's kind of odd.
Late for.
I know.
Did you see that picture of the fires by the freeway?
Yes.
Like, can you imagine going to work and driving past that stuff?
Stacy Bryn says it's 5 miles away from her apartment. 5
Oop.
miles. That's nothing.
Wow, that's not far at all.
Especially when I was doing an acre a second there for a while. It was just like, I mean, I can't even imagine that. You can't outrun that.
And the strange part about where I am, I live right by where they do contained fires because I live right by the cane fields. And they burn the cane fields. It's a beautiful sight at night if they do it. I mean, but it is
Breathe.
for breathing or whatever.
Makes me cough.
And I mean, you have one to the west, one to the east, one to the south. And I don't know if I'm pointing in the right directions, but I mean, like right everywhere around me is cane fields. And this is the time of the year where they burn them in order to pluck them or whatever they do to them.
Right.
One good thing about it, they finally decided to do something with the compost whenever they get finished with it because they're going to turn them into plates and cups and stuff like that. They actually built a factory right there by the sugarcane mill to do something with that excess that they do rather than just letting it pile up.
Hawaii was doing something like that. Apparently the residual sugar cane was a
right.
problem.
Plates and paper and stuff like that.
Nice.
It is. It brought like so many
Recycling.
jobs in the area.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Saving the environment, giving people work. Good job.
Yeah, because if you was to smell it while they processing it, ooh,
Oh, a sugar plant? Oh,
it is the
kill
worst
you.
smell.
The first time I ever came to Savannah, Georgia, I came down from North Carolina for the road races, the motorcycle road races. And it was right outside of Savannah. And so we came into Savannah to get something to eat. And we came over that bridge over the river, and I'm like, who on earth would ever live in this disgusting?
I told you it was pig farms.
Like 4 years later, I moved here. It's like, it's not as bad as it used to be. They cleaned it up somehow.
I can't tell. I smell
They blame
good.
the paper mills for that sulfur, that nasty sulfur, but it's a sugar refinery.
Ah, got it. Around here, it's the mushroom companies.
I heard it was pig farms, Sarah.
Huh?
They
What?
told me last year it was pig farms.
Pig
They had it
farms.
smelling.
And
Yeah,
pig farms are up towards milk.
don't point me in no direction. All I know that was
I have an accounting story on pigs.
Uh-oh.
When I worked for a big CPA firm, New Year's Day was always inventory day. I mean, we never got it. We never got January 1 off, hungover or no. And so, but it was also a jeans day. But this was back when, pantyhose and heels. I mean, jeans. But anyway, it had to be nice to me. So the big crew of the auditors went up to the pig farms where the hogs were. And so we have a brand new auditor right out of college. And this guy could dress, okay? He was a front dresser. He shows up not only in really nice jeans, but cologne, right? The first thing is you open the big doors to these barns is just like ammonia, you go in and there's like a pen and there's like the mama hog and all the baby, or the mama pig and the baby pigs. And the farmer, they poke the pig and then that makes all the little babies run around and they go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 32. And if they yell a different number, they got to do.
Oh, poor pig.
So wherever he was, these huge pigs would not leave him alone. They kept coming up and like smashing him on his leg.
it was a cologne, probably.
They like the cologne.
See, pigs like a good smell too, because they had to deal with the
Oh, they're like, oh, you smell wonderful. All right.
I wouldn't want to use that in your advertising, though.
Yeah.
So the poor guy walked away with his brand new nice jeans.
Oh, he was
Like pig.
Sounds like
I would get stuck out there at the.
sounds like cleaning out a calf pen or something.
I mean, inventory. The worst one was we would go down and do the dental instruments, and we're up in these warehouses, and they're hot. They're not and they're little bins, and you're counting,
Dental
those
picks.
little mirrors and those little things. And it was like, oh my gosh. It's like, please put me back on right up. But on inventory day, everybody's an auditor.
Everybody gets to count pigs, huh?
Everybody gets to count.
Just got an email where they confirming the job interview for Tuesday. So I'm excited.
Job interview?
Anybody got any tips, or because I've never did an interview for a county position before.
Brandon has to come back on and show us his elf costume.
Elf?
He has an elf costume. Brandon, what are you doing?
I will change here in just a minute, and I will show you my elf costume. So here's,
Like your eyes right
so
there.
here's the story behind this.
You give me a story behind why your eyes are like so wide on this picture. What are you looking at?
So here's
What
the
are you
story
looking
behind
at?
it.
I've never asked him, but I've always wondered, what are you looking at?
What are you looking at on this picture?
We were having family photos taken, and I was exhausted, and I was tired of being there, and I said,
You look like you're hyped up on caffeine.
so I was making stupid faces, and the photographer, is a friend of mine, snapped the picture.
Oh, okay. You look surprised. That's what I'm asking. What were you looking at?
Really? Really?
You're getting really fuzzy these days. Going for Santa Claus? Going for that Santa Claus look?
Maybe.
Here comes Al.
You need to get it right.
So hi, girls.
Hi. How are
Hello.
you?
Get over there.
So here's the deal with the elf thing.
Huh?
We are all going to be a part of breaking the Guinness Book of World Records for the most elves in one spot.
Really?
That is cool.
Yeah, really?
FaceTime it or do Facebook Live.
Something like that. Really?
I'll do a Facebook Live or something when we get over there. There's going to be about 2,000 people dressed up as elves.
Okay.
I go get my elf hat. Well, then you have it on.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey. Oh, he look like an elf for real. Oh.
Zoom in and can we be added like as virtual people to add to your people?
I bet Disney will be calling pretty soon if they see this video.
So,
That is awesome. That is awesome. Where's your hat at?
Where's y'all's hat?
Where's your hat?
Huh? Come on.
Oh, okay.
Haircuts.
they're going to put them on.
Okay. How cute. That is so cute.
And
Did you guys
so
make the hats
I've also
yourself?
got an elf shirt and elf shoes to go with them.
Okay. That is so adorable.
Because she doesn't have an elf hat.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
that is so cute. Oh my God. I cannot wait for that. I am so
Oh
looking
my
forward
gosh.
to that.
And my elf shoes.
FaceTime. You're gonna have to do the live something. So I want to see all
So,
the
Now, that's a
the
big
things I
elf
do for my kids.
Okay.
The things he's never done for his kids.
Oh, wow. Your secrets are getting out.
Yeah.
Did you guys make those costumes?
I'm gonna get after him.
Say that again?
Did you make your own costumes?
No.
Look, Daddy.
So Brandon, if you do your Facebook Live, you can put it on Hector's VMAT group.
On Hector's what?
That'll be your Facebook Live challenge.
On Hector's meetup group?
VMAP it's called.
Oh. I'm not a part of that. I should be. I just hadn't.
I'll have to see if I can send you an invite.
Yeah, please do. I'll put it up there.
That's going to be
That would
interesting.
be awesome.
It's going to be interesting.
So I think I am actually the only one that took the Facebook challenge on that group.
What was the challenge for?
It was just to say your name. It was like
To do a live thing. Yeah, but they're not doing the live ones because I said live, and Hector's like, yes, it's got to be live. And
it is so way
Live,
different
and-
to be doing it live as
I'm
opposed to
playing.
recorded.
They're just going to have to forgive me. It was like board reports, do a video. Board reports, do.
Oh, well, you just have to, and it's only supposed to be 60 seconds long.
Oh yeah, it'll take me 4 days to plan it. I was talking to Stacy Cadell. We were going back and forth and texting, and I said, it's just not fair. The guys just turn on the camera. I'm looking for like 2 inches of under eye stuff,
Really, and Mariette just like is all the time on there. Hey, Linda.
You see that skin of her?
Those dimples are just too
like
cute, too cute,
I bet
That's
Linda
that.
already did one.
Pardon?
I bet Linda already did one.
Ooh, Linda Russell?
Yeah.
Did you do a little video for Seth and Hector?
No, I don't think she did. I didn't see
I
it.
didn't see it. No, you were really brave. You jumped in there and did it first.
Well, I wanted, he really pushed me out of my comfort zone. I mean, right now, while we're talking and we're on the camera, is so different than trying to script something and not forget something and get everything in, and the and also hand movements.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
That's what us Toastmasters come in at, and you're doing it, and when you say every time you say they're snapping at you.
I do okay.
So bad.
So I do lots of so's and okays. I pretty much beat the out of myself, but got replaced with replaced with so's and
it really is hard doing it that way, though. I mean,
live and no cuts. There's no redos. Now, of course, you can delete that video, but somebody somewhere has seen it, so it's never really going to be deleted. That's the scary part about it, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, you want to be careful.
But you know what? You really do have to just jump in and do it and not worry about it. It is what it is.
And what is the purpose of the videos?
We're learning how to video market for accountants.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
And practice promoting yourself, actually. Like we talked about earlier, it's not easy for accountants to say, oh, I do this, I'm really great. You know what I mean? Not easy.
That's why they tell you it's good to write your script before you start videoing, so that you have it in front of you as you're trying to do the video. And I don't care what they say, they're still very difficult because you're like, and so anyway.
Well,
he wanted it scripted. He wanted to write out a script and then and do a presentation. Don't wing it. Do it live, scripted. And so that's what I'm saying. I have to,
I used my little Bill.com pen. I put his little face up by my camera, and that's what I focused on. That was my person to focus on.
You watched that right there, too.
Like I was talking to a person. That was my person, Bill.com.
All right.
Brandon, you got to put the hat on to get the full effect here.
Okay. Now you have to stand up, Brandon.
Oh, he said out.
Yeah, he said out.
Perfect. Very good.
What a census helpers.
Okay. Come on up. Come.
You got a new puppy. You got a new dog. Is that the new one?
Oh, is that the one I saw a picture of?
If Linda names her dog Amazing, it would be Amazing Grace.
No, this dog here, I'm now calling Terror. Terror.
He looks like that dog that I was interested in that we were going to name him Ruru.
Yeah,
He had the big ears.
Chihuahua. It's a Chihuahua Yorkie mix.
Yeah, look at those ears. He looks like a Ruru too.
He looks like an elf.
And he's
Look at the ears. I mean, like, oh, aren't they adorable? Hi.
Oh, look at that.
They're so cute.
So this one's small, so she can come up. The other one's big.
Yeah.
So now I got two, and they keep each other company.
Good.
So you are going to keep the name Tara?
I'm actually calling her Terror. Terrra.
Okay.
Name
Oh,
was Tara. Tara. So I'm calling her Terror. Terror.
That sounds like terror.
I want some kind of form of an animal. I want a cat, but my granddaughter is allergic to cats.
Aw.
Ooh, I
Holy
didn't tell you my news.
She's a holy terror, okay? Back
Holy terror. Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, look at
cute.
that. They got all the Morrises there.
Wow.
that. You do. Look at all the elves. Look at all
Hi, everyone.
the elves. How are you?
There's so many elves in this room already.
I know.
Like it.
I want to go get
Very
my hat.
nice.
It's in the other room. It's in the house.
Yeah, send me a link to that, and I will make sure and post it to Seth and Hector's.
Okay, yeah, I put a note down here.
Oh, yeah.
I'll add you, or try to. If I can't, then I'll contact Hector and have him add you.
Yeah.
So Sarah, you were going to tell us a story.
Oh, about the pigs? I already told that story.
No? We were talking about Facebook Live. Oh, lost it already. Okay.
Yeah, you see the look on her face, right?
Oh, I'm not gone.
I swear I've got Alzheimer's.
Oh, here, there's Brandon's look on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed it, Linda. We actually asked him what he was looking at on that picture. You know,
I see.
he actually explained it to us.
So the funny thing about that picture, though, is it's been used. I had, when I went to preach at another church, I had, they grabbed that image off, and that's
Oh
what
my
the
goodness.
Oh
announcement.
my gosh.
I was looking for one of Gina's YouTube videos today, and I was scrolling through them. And you know how it'll just take a picture and make it the thumbnail?
Yeah.
A lot of me.
So Brandon, what did
Always
they?
the hands, right? Always with my mouth open.
I wonder what they said, Brandon. Is that when you looked at the Holy Ghost or whatever?
We lost him. We'll have to ask him. So Brandon, Larry wants to know what they said about that picture and how did they promote it. Is that your expression when you saw the Holy Ghost?
No, that was actually, there was no Holy Ghost left, and I was sick and tired of pictures.
No Holy Ghost.
But anyway, yep. These two cried through the whole thing. It was not a good day.
How many girls?
Little Elfettes are ready to rock and roll. Marley and Carly?
Are they twins?
Carly and Marley, yep, they're twins.
Oh, okay. All right. So you already have the most elves in the room.
Well, and Kylie's back behind them. There's her hand. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all be quiet. They're talking.
So those outfits.
My Zoom hangout. What are y'all doing?
You guys,
That's the thumbnail for today and not, you know.
I know, I'm gonna have to make sure that, and if it is, if YouTube does not pick it, I'll have to take a screenshot and make it.
There we go. All right.
No, it is 6:30, and I still haven't seen that UPS truck. And if that truck doesn't show up,
Oh, UPS will show up. FedEx doesn't
about
show
to
up.
go
Yeah.
check.
Sarah, you might want to go check your porch because they have a habit of whether you're in the house or not.
No. My window looks out over the front yard, and I have a security camera. And what they keep saying is deliver. All of a sudden, my Apple say delivered, and they haven't even gotten on the property. So,
I've had that happen. Yes.
to the wrong addresses. And then what they do is if they're behind, they'll say house doesn't exist, bad address.
I
Yeah.
get taken to the post office.
So this one,
But you know,
this
I'm
one is a resend, and the other one's a network card that I have to have. But they don't let you put any instructions like
Right.
that. So what I'm doing now is when I order something, I'm going to go, 7801 Johnny Mercer, back in the woods.
Got it.
but you know what? I'm lucky because where I work at, most of the UPS guys know where I live at, so they're
it's
trying to
this
bring it
time.
over here. They bring it straight to the office.
It's the temp. It's the temps.
Oh,
Not
that's-
the regular. Yeah.
Yeah.
25 years. They know how to get. But see, there's 5 houses on an access road, and instead of coming in where the mailboxes are and finding the access road and then all the other houses, they drive down the main road and go, I don't see a house.
Mm.
They're behind schedule and they don't feel like delivering it.
Or they'll say, need signature, wasn't home. And I'm like,
You know what I got last time? Oh my gosh. I got, there was an ambulance and police in front of my house. They couldn't stop.
Well, was it one in the neighborhood?
what do you mean couldn't
If
stop?
I was home and there was no ambulance and there
Oh,
was
that
no
was the
police.
excuse.
That was the excuse that they gave for not delivering. Yep. Yeah, I got the message. I have the app. It was supposed to be delivered. I was waiting for it. Yep. Those guys just rolled right on by my house
on by.
and didn't stop. So I called them while the truck was still out.
Yeah.
So they actually called the driver, and the driver says, oh, there was an ambulance and a cop car. We couldn't stop.
I had one hit my door one time, boom. And by the time I got to the door, which shouldn't have took long in this little bitty space, he was almost to the truck, and there's this big old huge box, and I'm like, hey, come out, what? Right. He said, you don't have a man in the house to bring it in? I said, hell no, you bring that on in the house. I was so mad. I was
Good
like,
for you.
yeah. I thought you had a man in the house who can get it for you. That's your job, whether I have a man in my house or not.
Linda's pointing at something.
Okay, he like pop and kept on going. They just knocked and kept
Bring
going.
him into the house.
I like, was you scared he gonna get you for delivering a package?
Our regular drive, they're awesome. But you know what they're doing now?
Right.
UPS is negotiated with the post office. And so the really heavy stuff, it's
Yeah, they take it
cheaper.
to the post office.
Big UPS trucks go right on by, and they go down to the post office, and they dump it off at the post office. And my poor little 65-year-old mail lady who weighs about 90 pounds
Wow, has to deal with
her
100.
little white truck and her little folding thing, and all my battery packs. You know how heavy UPSs are? And it was really hot. It was like July. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I said, and the thing is, UPS had just left with his little, 2-pound box. And I'm like, what on earth? And she came in, and I had to go get her a drink. Like,
they
put her down. I'm like, you're gonna drop dead.
Yeah, they don't even try that. They
Big burly truck drivers running around with their little boxes.
I thought you were gonna say their little shorts.
Well, yeah, that too.
Okay, well, we are almost out of time. I think
On
Linda,
that
you
note-
had a couple questions you wanted to ask real quick before we go. Linda?
Oh,
Or Peggy.
No, you, Linda. You had some questions?
And now I'm trying to remember I can't remember them now. What
I forgot to.
Thank the people that got back to me Saturday night, because the recurring template in QBO.
that's what you had a question about. Yeah.
They bury these things so deep underneath. You got to click here and click here and click here and click
It's
here.
so efficient.
and then over here is where you can, instead of saying invoice, you want a sales receipt. But I mean, it's like really buried. And so I made a recurring sales receipt, but you have to have it be unscheduled because it can't be scheduled for in the past. It can only be scheduled for today forward. So then you just use it as a template over and over and over again until you get to today. And then it can become a recurring template.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I thought the one that I created the other night actually went out, and I was like, Chris was like, "Are you gonna send me my invoice?" Well, it went out. No, I didn't receive it. I'm telling you, that's the same one that said, "Are we gonna Zoom?" You know, he didn't get. He's telling me how to run my business these days. So I went and looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, it didn't send." Well, okay. So I'm learning the recurring templates too. I'm not really sure about them either yet. I'm trying to get the hang of it. I thought when you create it, they send it out when you say send it out. But the date is actually when do you want it to begin? That's the question it asks. So I put the date that I created it, but they're not going to send it to them until January 1st.
Oh.
Right. So, I mean, if you want one to go out right then and there, you have to do it manually like you normally do it. But the recurring template is there. It's just not going to start until the following month.
Aha. Yeah, see, those are the kind of things you have to learn. And
right.
I did get another contract with the company that is starting a new corporation on January 1st. And I went in, and they're one of these QuickBooks Desktop Premier Plus, which means it's a subscription, and they automatically charge your card $4.97 every year, and then you can upgrade anytime the new one comes out. Except that all the people that I've run into that have that and are paying for it are running QuickBooks 2015. They've never upgraded. And it's like I ask them, and they're going like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, you're paying, you know, $400, $800 a year to have the latest version." "No, I'm not." "Oh, yeah, you are." You know, and I have to
Wow.
So anyway, yeah, and this guy's paying for payroll for 3 different EINs. Thank God, because we just added his third EIN. So what I've done is and I thought about this when I worked with them. It wasn't there it was only in their little folder to upgrade to 2016. 2017 and 2018 weren't there. And so I have QuickBooks Online looking in, or QuickBooks Desktop looking into that, and they're going to have the link ready. I said, you know, they were trying to send us out to camps.intuit.com and here and there and everywhere. And I said, you know, it seems to me if you're going to charge a little bit extra for this so that they can get it every year, you might want to be a little bit more proactive about them getting
notifying them. Hey,
Yeah.
It's a new year, new version's ready to be downloaded.
Yeah.
They're not getting anything.
That could be a recurring email, right?
That's a MailChimp. That's easy enough, you know, right?
Monkey.
I think that if they didn't go download it, you could send them a reminder every month for 6 weeks. Just saying, you know, we noticed you didn't download your latest version. Remember, it's there if you want it, you know. It just seems to me that you're offering this, you're charging a little extra, and you want them to know you care.
Well, you could be a real hero by having them drop that stupid service.
Well, yeah, but what I do first is I go in and I upgrade them to
yeah. Give us
and then I have them drop it. And I tell them, if they're not somebody that's an accountant or something, they don't need it every year. Unless they're needing a lot of tech support. If they need a lot of tech support, it gets them some tech support too. But, you know, and the tech support's probably worth the $150 it is over the regular price of $350 for like they're running Premier Contractor Edition. So, but then that makes it easy for them to accept my contract for $1,000 to create a new data file and do that because they're saving. That's like them paying me $500.
Right.
And we ran into this problem, and I said, you know, no worries with this. And I have an appointment with him Monday, and then I have an appointment with him Wednesday. And I said, we have all these appointments, so we don't have to rush. When things go wrong, we don't have to worry or get upset. We've got the time and the space we need to finish this up before January 1st. If we don't need all these appointments, we just cancel them.
Yeah.
Not a big deal, you know? So, but I said, I like to provide that, you know, and it's just kind of peace of mind sort of thing. And it gives us time to think, oh, I know. We exported everything from the IAF files and imported. Everything came in really nice, except like we didn't get the tax stuff for the payroll didn't come in, and the payroll setup didn't come in. We got all the employees. Is there any way to export that and import it? There is. Okay.
No, but they'll do it for you if you pay for the full.
Oh, they will.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find that out Monday how much they charge for that. And we'll, you know, and she can decide. She's got like a dozen employees. But I said,
I was curious.
That's why we started when we started. We started now because that gives you 3 weeks to handle everything that goes wrong. Because that's just the way it is. Life is what it is, you know? And we want to be able to kind of laugh at this and have a good time with this.
Well, I was curious. What if you sign up for the full service and use it for like the first quarter, and then downgrade it? I don't know. Can you downgrade it?
Enhanced right now.
Yeah, I mean,
enhanced. They have it for 3 EINs.
Are you talking about desktop or QBO?
They really don't use. They don't do any kind of regular payroll. And I don't know whether they do an odd payroll here or there.
Yeah.
There's another lady kind of across the office, and I'll find out more about that when I go back. But then their regular company is going to run up until we'll run the payroll through till the end of January 31st, so we can do the W-2s and that kind of stuff. But their last paycheck will be issued December 31st, and then all the new pay
on a Sunday?
January 1st. So
on a Sunday?
What?
On a Sunday? You can't issue payroll on a Sunday.
Why not?
It's not a banking day. It has to be backdated to the prior Friday.
Okay, well then they'll do it the prior Friday.
Yeah, all our last payrolls are the 29th.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do. That's why we're starting now, so we can catch those things.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I had a client in desktop who ran his payroll on whatever it was, Wednesday or whatever, Thursday on the 20th. It was the 31st. But he asked for, and he always paid his taxes immediately. And so it said it would withdraw on January 1st. Which is not a banking day. And it went through. And you know how you get that email that says you're a payroll? And you get them all the time. How many people really read them? And he printed it, stuck it in the file until we did quarterlies in the first quarter and found out that we had a missing, it never.
Oh, it really didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Mm-mm.
Oh my God.
No, I caught it quicker than that doing a bank rep. But the fact is, the penalty, you know, by that time it was over the whatever day, so it was a.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That's one of the things we've been checking. I've been studying as far as getting ready for my certification, because now I'm working on the payroll and depreciation, and that's one of the things that we're talking about, Sarah, are those non-payment days. Those are like the holidays, or
people don't realize. They go, I pay on the 15th and the 31st, and they just automatically print. And I'm like, you know, when it comes to constructive receipt, you can hand somebody a paycheck on the 31st, but if the bank isn't open, you really need to backdate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now Gusto is really good about that. They let you know about banking days and all that, but you want to know what's really interesting?
Wow.
My daughter's holistic chamber company just got a notice from Gusto that they owe another $441 for federal unemployment tax.
For a nonprofit? No.
No, she's not nonprofit.
Okay.
She's an S corp. No, or is she a C? I think she's an S corp. But anyway, so she said, "Oh yeah, this is not unusual. If you're in a state, the federal government looks at how much the state has collected in unemployment.
Oh,
net,
yeah, I forgot
and then
about
at the
that.
end,
Mm-hmm.
You could have your
the
rate
bill.
Yep.
Now, Camille says that usually they'll get a refund of that, or they may not. But
Once they prove that they paid their state unemployment.
I don't know, but they paid all that. They've all gone
Well,
through.
when you
Why did they get charged again?
when you prepare the 940, you state on there that you paid your state on time. If the state ever reports back to the feds that you didn't, they'll bill you for the difference.
Well, Gusto does all that. We don't do any filing in 941s or
Then
anything.
why do you have a problem at all?
Good question.
I thought these are the.
Turns out
Gina,
it's
I love this thing.
that they didn't pay. It's something about the state of California.
that they have to meet certain requirements. They
Yeah,
have
I
to-
don't know what it is, but because
yes, states around here are like that too. Delaware is like that. They have
Okay.
to meet a certain requirement, and if they don't make it, then the rate changes, and you're responsible for paying the remainder of whatever you didn't pay.
Right. But the good news is they have the money in the bank. Thank God I did that system. It's working really well. She's got 2 more investors. Today was her birthday. And so where I had gone to was I drove to Pasadena. She mentioned like a week ago, remember that day we had BLT sandwiches for Christmas? And I said, oh, I remember that. And and I thought, I said, you want them now? She said, well, that'd be kind of nice. And I said, well, but you can't get red tomatoes, So anyway, she goes, oh, okay. But then another person in her office called me and said, what kind of cake did she like? She was going to bake her a cake. Then I got thinking, I didn't know what kind of cake she liked. So, but I knew she liked BLTs, so I planned then to make BLTs and bring them. Now, one of the people doesn't eat that, but she ate some of the sourdough bread, but I brought all the ingredients too. So it was interesting. It was nice. We all had BLT sandwiches. It was delicious.
Nice.
It was something different that she liked for her birthday, and she was happy. So,
Happy birthday to your daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Happy
Karen
birthday
Brooksmere just
to
turned
Mel.
50 on Tuesday, and so we had decorated her office and everything, and that sick kid, she didn't come in.
I saw that. I saw that. Best laid plans.
And then when she did come in, I was hiding with the
Did she
camera.
call in today though?
Huh?
Did she call in? You said just in case she called in or everything, see what's going on.
Did she call in? What?
Did she call into, Zoom in or whatever and see her birthday decorations or whatever?
No, we just didn't tell her. And when she got in on Wednesday, I was hiding with the camera, but I didn't notice that her machine had turned off because we had these really cool. We had changed her screensavers to balloons and all that. But then when she booted her machine, because she was already surprised about the balloons and all the sign and everything. And then when she booted her machine, then her
Happy birthday came up.
yeah, and it was weird because Angela came in. She said, "Do you know the password for Karen's machine?" And I'm like, "Why?" I want to screw with her screensaver. I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it to you for that."
I have a question for Sarah.
Yes.
Since you came on late, what was your opinion of the T-Sheets and Intuit merger or acquisition?
Oh, I got some flack. 'Cause my first reaction was, "Oh no!"
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. Like you thought Intuit's going to mess T-sheets up.
Well, okay. I'm a realist. I don't drink the Kool-Aid. I don't go, shiny. Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
awesome. I think I have a healthy dose of skepticism.
Yeah.
And plus, you've lived around long enough to see what's happened in the
I
past.
have worked with Intuit since the Quick and DOS days, and I'm telling you, this is a business. These aren't our friends.
That's right. I mean, I have the same feeling.
So I know David, with Expensify personally. I know Matt personally. We were in Hawaii together, so I know them as human beings.
Right, it's who they are.
And who they are. And I know their attitudes and how they treat their employees and so you put that up against a behemoth like Intuit, who talks out of both sides of its mouth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they do. So, and to take one model and merge it with another model, I'm skeptical. They said that they are committed to all their other partners. It interfaces with, Xero and all that stuff. But if Intuit owns the product, the interface with Xero, do you think they're going to keep that?
Well, would Xero be willing to give their code to Intuit or Sage? I mean, I worked for a big company, Walmu, and it was like maybe 50, 60,000 people when I was dehired. And
you just say dehired?
Dehired.
We'll come back to that story.
I was able to go. I went Polko, as in pursuing other career opportunities.
I love that.
But anyway, the culture is so stultifying with the big company that, you have to get permission and you have to have this happy horseshit talk, about how great the company is. And,
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see.
It's pretty nauseating.
Have to wait and see.
It's a wait and see.
I'm gonna end this show because we are like so over time at this point.
Oh. I thought you turned it off.
You're having such a good time.
Bye, everyone. Same time.
Bye, YouTube people.